In the Philippines, not only air nor eye in the water is polluted, but also the minds and the resulting actions of the Filipinos. Having to witness these toxic attitudes is one of the life's greatest challenges. It's like you want to correct one's toxicity, but if the person itself wouldn't cooperate, the words heard would only enter one ear and exit the other. The root of these toxic cultures within ourselves, and slowly some are trying to realize it. We need to open our mind, not by just few individuals, but by number growing exponentially. In 1521, the Philippines took a dramatic culture change. The Spaniards took over 300 years ushering in an era of oppression and yet also managed to bring drastic improvement. Then, the Americans took over, and yet again gave a brand new perception of the world, a culture shock to which the Filipinos did not account for. The reigns of the Americans did not last long. However, the Japanese wrought war and took over the country. The Philippines, the Filipino people, persevered. We didn't allow such issues to break our spirit, our patriotism. But not everyone held on to that. Some were so absorbed by the colonizers that they began to perceive their country as inferior to those colonizers. Probably, one of the biggest flaws we have as a nation is our colonial mentality, defined as a preference for all things that is foreign over our own. A negative trait which we acquired from our days under the Spaniards and the Americans. As a result, we Filipinos have been indoctrinated with the misconception that our culture is inferior to that of our past colonizers. A glaring example of colonial mentality include patronizing foreign instead of local brands, favoring foreign values over our own, and even desiring to look more Western. If we can't even have pride in our own country, then unfortunately, we will always be stuck with this self-defeating mentality. The crab mentality. Ever heard of crab mentality? Crab mentality is the mindset that if I can't have it, neither can you. And it's named after crabs for a reason. When trapped in a bucket, crabs could technically climb out on their own, but that's not what happens. Instead, these crazy crustaceans pulls each other's down so no one escapes.
Hihilahin kita mo ba dahil mas magaling ako sa'yo, mas maganda ako sa'yo. Pwe!
Mga bobo!
Naranasan mo na bang hilain pababa? Yung tipong may taong hihila sa inyo pababa para naman sila ang umangat. We Filipinos are said to have a crab mentality or talangka trait. I will definitely include myself because I'm a Filipino. We might be ashamed to admit it, but oh come on, it's the truth. This mentality is taking place when somebody wants himself to be the greatest of all, to be the one highest of all, and that no one is better than his opinions and abilities. And if someone is on top of him, the first thought he would have is how to bring that person down, spreading fake news or rumors about the successful person to ruin his reputation. Most of the time, people with crab mentality prey on the hardworking individual who truly deserve their success. Para sa mga taong naranasan ng apak-apakan, para sa mga taong nakaranas ng masaktan, ito lang ang masasabi ko sa inyo. Let your success speak for itself. Just do what you have to do and let your accomplishment do the talking. What is procrastination?
Mamaya ko na lang kaya gawin, kaya ko naman ito mamaya.
Procrastination, also considered as manana habit in the Filipino culture. Most Filipinos are guilty of the mamayana habit because they think they can finish things last minute. This is another habit which keeps the development of our country slow. Look at the government projects which have been left undone for years. If only they were completed immediately, then many Filipinos would have already benefited from them. This is also true with many of us. Instead of working on a task while there's so much time, we wait for the deadline, because we feel lazy to start on them or we want to use the time for other things. Kailangan na natin itigil ang ganitong klaseng mentalidad. Ang mentalidad na kung saan sasabihin natin, mamaya na, may panahon pa naman. Kasi ito ang isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit hindi umuunlad ang Pilipinas. Filipino, please wake up. I find it sad that in other countries, people take depression as a serious mental health issue. Some Filipinos are still close-minded about mental illness and think it's just some millennials being dramatic. According to a report from Philippine statistics, the suicide rate in the Philippines is rising drastically in the last 2 years, with at least one suicidal referral made each day. One plausible reason is Filipinos misunderstanding mental illness. Instead of understanding mentally unstable people, we shut them down and think it is some sort of kaartehan. Some of you might say, sus, maliit na bagay compared to what others are going through. However, you should also acknowledge the fact that different people have different coping mechanisms. People going through episode of depression should not be considered as weak. Most of them that I personally know are strong enough to recognize that there's something missing in their lives. I hope that we do not invalidate the feelings, no matter how trivial we think it is the issue at hand. In the end, mental health should not be taken lightly and should not be laughed about. If you know anyone going through depression, shower them with love. Be kind, be understanding. For all you know, you are the only reason why you would like to carry on life.
Meanwhile,
Filipino time refers to the Filipinos' own unique brand of time, which is known to be minutes or hours behind the standard time. In other words, we tend not to observe punctuality at all. This behavior usually drives time-observant foreigners crazy, while we Filipinos, with our easygoing ways, have somewhat become used to Filipino time. It is still a bad habit that needs to be dropped. For Filipinos, being late and starting late have always been a part of our culture. Many Filipinos seems to either practice it or accept it, so much that we've given a name or a term for it, the Filipino time. So what does this tell us about Filipino culture? Well, for one, Filipino time shows how we Filipino can have a lack of respect for other people's time. We can be individualistic in nature. What is more worrying though is that Filipino time shows how Filipinos have become complacent, tolerant, and change-resistant people. Yun lamang po mga kayumanista para sa Filipino toxic mentality or culture. So first we have colonial mentality, crab mentality, procrastination, laughing about depression, and Filipino time. So I hope you learned something, and once again, I'm Andrei Deverson signing out.
it's going down for real.